Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How the devil are we doing this morning, folks? What have we got for you today? For today, we have the Equality Act. The Equality Act, Harriet Harman's brainchild from a few years back, 2010 to be precise, that has caused us no end of trouble as we've moved forward. You know already that I'm an exponent of let's get rid of the damn thing. At the very least, I would expect massive alteration to it, and certainly the removal of anything to do with gender. Now, I'm not the only one, it appears, because we have today an article from the Telegraph, and the Telegraph is telling us about a new report you can see here from Don't Divide Us Now. Now, some of you may be aware of Don't Divide Us Now already. Tremendous organisation dealing with race, run by the likes of Alka, and also Anna Lufti. Yep, there's loads. They're great people, right? I've got the link to the website downstairs where the report is, so you can go and have a look, as well as the link to the Telegraph article. So I'm really interested in hearing from you about whether you think it's time to get rid of the damn thing and come up with something better, because it's caused no end of trouble. And I think this article is really useful at trying to understand what, why, and how it's caused no end of trouble. So grab a cup of tea and listen along. The Equality Act epitomises Westminster's mindless utopianism. A report on the Equality Act calls for it to be reviewed immediately and repealed eventually, as it is not fit for its stated purpose. It is impossible to calculate the total financial costs of the Equality Act to the taxpayer. The 2010 legislation requires all public sector bodies, as well as any organisation, here we go, see, any organisation, this is so interesting, in receipt of public funds or carrying out a public function, to integrate equality and anti-discrimination considerations into their operations. That's how the tentacles of it worked, you see. They knew what they were doing. They were. If we're going to give, now, bear in mind that the government is very often, and rightly so, a huge social or cultural economic stimulus. They knew what they were doing. So once they go, right, you can have your money, but here's what you've got to do. You know, you've got to polish a turd. Right? That was what happened effectively. The costs are therefore diffused across budgets in the form, for example, of diversity, equality and inclusion roles, equally impact assessments and legal costs, all of which are cobblers. Reform UK has claimed that abolishing DEI schemes across government would save an estimated £7 billion a year, which is about £1 billion short of our annual budget for national roads. Amazing. Research carried out by the Taxpayers Alliance last year revealed spending on DEI roles in local authorities rose from just over 12 million in 2020-21 to almost 23 million in 2022-23. Remember, this is an enormous bureaucratic bubo, a tick firmly embedded in the buttock of our society. Now, the usual suspects will go around, yeah, but it's reform, and oh my God, no, not the Taxpayers Alliance, far right, book burners, the Nazis, bring it on. They'll just start spouting their usual bloody rubbish about this, because that's what they do. It was the Equality Act under which Birmingham City Council was taken to court by its employees claiming unequal pay. The 1.35 billion incurred by the council as a result, 1.35 billion. Holy cow. Was incurred by the council as a result has contributed towards its bankruptcy. The financial costs are therefore clearly enormous, but to what end are taxpayers shouldering them? What impact has the legacy of Harriet Harperson, had on our workplace and by extension our society? The Equality Act Isn't Working is the title of a report launched this month by the campaign group Don't Divide Us, with the help of a dossier of audited records from over 5,000 employment tribunal cases. The report concludes that the Equality Act is in fact not fit for its stated purpose and should be reviewed immediately and repealed eventually. Let's get on with it, shall we? And stop dicking around. That's what I say. The Act, claimed the authors of the report, Dr. Alka Siegel-Cuthbert and Dr. Anna Lufti, contains profound contradictions in respect of the protected characteristics of race that render its provision largely unworkable in real life. From authoritarian overreach, effectively awarding the state carte blanche to regulate all social relationships, How true is that with this ridiculous law coming out that means that employers have got to be worried about what their stupid staff hear somebody on the table in their restaurant say that upsets them? It's just insane. It's absolute left insanism. Right, so I'll start again because I got a little bit heated there. From authoritarian overreach, effectively awarding the state carte blanche to regulate all social relationships in its legally ordained quest for advancing equality or eliminating discrimination, to legitimizing principles of racial thinking and segregation. There's your critical race theory right there, right? The critical race theory right there. And segregation, you can see it in other things. LGBTQ, well, you're the wrong kind of gay. You're the wrong kind of lesbian. We know this happens. The act in practice contradicts principles of equality as commonly understood, that we stand as equal individuals subject to a universal law. Now, you would have seen a post that I put up yesterday or the day before. It was yesterday, I think. Was it or the day before? I can't remember. About the police and how they're about to behave because they've been told that they've got to have equality of outcome when it comes to who you prosecute. This is insane. This is insane. Insane. The report captures the muddled thinking behind the act in one devastating sentence. While the Equality Act ostensibly prescribes discrimination on the basis of ethnic group identity, it tacitly prescribes that the law identifies us all in terms of ethnic group identity. That's where your problem is. Right there. Smack. Have that in the face, in the chops. Don't argue with me. That's where the problem is. This has introduced a specific brand of toxicity into our lives. Yeah, and the toxicity is called EDI, DEI, which is all about trans and queer and race and, you know, BLM and all the usual boondoggle rubbish. And let's go and have pride and walk around with a dildo up our butt dressed as a dog. This is what it's called, right? This has introduced a specific brand of toxicity into our lives by causing a breakdown of informal civility in the workplace, where discontent and complaints are being increasingly experienced and presented as problems of racism. This is borne out by the findings of the report, which reveal that out of the 5,523 cases which have included race-based discrimination jurisdictions between 2017 and 2024, only 281, or 5% of race discrimination claims have been upheld in employment courts. This is a money-making scam, isn't it? Somebody's making money, be the bloody lawyers. Oi! What is it? Not quacks, that's doctors. Shysters! Lawyers making money. It's insane. 5%. How the hell is that happening? Only 5% should get to the bloody court because the rest of it's obviously rubbish. Some of the unsuccessful claims, given the opportunity, may well have been resolved through traditional mediating channels between colleagues, with perhaps a greater chance of salvaging a workplace relationship following a dispute without the stress and the unpleasantness of being embroiled in a lengthy legal process. Published in the same month as the 50th anniversary of the Equality Act receiving royal assent, this report provides a long overdue audit of a piece of legislation which epitomises Westminster's mindless utopianism. The damage it continues to inflict on the public purse as well as our social fabric can no longer be ignored. I absolutely agree. It's got to go. Anything that moves towards this idea of utopianism, which is a murderous idea, by the way, beloved of the left, right? It's a murderous idea. The sooner we end this boondoggle, there's the word for you, I always say that word, boondoggle, the sooner we end it, the better for everybody concerned, including you and I. But that's enough today from the court of the Edijester. Come be a warrior teacher, all right? Better still, buy me a coffee. Not better still, but, you know, in lieu of. Buy me a coffee if you like my work, and I'll keep ranting at you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.